Welcome back everyone to another episode of Mumbles. Today I'm here to bring you guys another game review. And the game that I will be reviewing for you today is Dream Alone. Now before I get into anything about this game, I do need to address one thing real quick. If my eye looks a little funny, I apologize. Mumbles had a bit of an accident and he hurt his eye. Now, it's not too bad, nothing to be concerned about, it is healing, but needless to say, it looks a little funny and it kind of kept me from recording certain requests, such as Little Big Planet 3 and a couple other games that I was requested to review and things like that. So I will get to those, but I had to give the eye time to heal. It's on the mend, no need for worry, no need for concern. And yeah, so now that that's out of the way, let's get back into this review. So Dream Alone is available on multiple systems, including Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, PC, and Mac. All kinds of systems, guys. And the review will be done today on the Nintendo Switch. So all gameplay footage you're seeing is from the Nintendo Switch. Now this game on the Nintendo Switch eStore costs $9.99, so please do be aware of that. So what is this game? Dream Alone is basically one of those Limbo Inspired type games. You know, Limbo, Inside, those kind of games. This is another one of those type of games. It is a platformer slash puzzle game slash whatever else you want to consider it. Now this game tells the story of a young lad whose entire village falls into great harm. Okay. Now this game tells the story of a young boy whose entire family and town falls into a deep coma. Now the only way that he can rescue his town is by meeting a sorceress named the Lady of Death. But can he make it there through all the perils? Only you can decide that. So that's basically what this game is. It's a platformer, and yeah. So let's talk about the graphics, the soundtrack, and the controls. First off, the graphics. The graphics in this game are really well done. The best way I can describe it is simply this. Think of a Tim Burton movie. Maybe Alice in Wonderland. Think into the mind of Tim Burton. Now put that into a game. A dark game. A very dark game. That is what Dream Alone is. I love the graphics of this game. But I will say one thing about them. They are very, very dark. In as much as, I mean literally dark. The entire time you play this game, you will be in darkness. It's hard to see things, but what you can see is just so out of this world and well done that I really do enjoy the graphics. I just wish they'd have been a little bit brighter. Now soundtrack-wise, this game doesn't have much of a soundtrack. It does have some eerie sounds and things like that. But for the most part, you can expect the soundtrack to be rather tame the entire time you're playing this game. Now control-wise, there's not much to the controls. For the Nintendo Switch, all there really is a jump button. And then there is two special moves that you have that I will talk more about in the gameplay section. And for the most part, the controls do work good, but it does take some time to get used to the jump mechanics of this game. Now, what do I mean by that? Simply this. The jump in this game is clumsy, and you have to be very precise in this game. So, as you proceed through this game, you will find that sometimes you'll just miss with the jump, and you'll have to go back through it and do that jump again and again and again and again until you can get that down. So that is what I mean by clumsy controls. Now let's talk about the gameplay. As I said, this is a platformer. It's all about jumping from one thing to another, getting over different enemies, all that kind of stuff. It is a platformer at its heart and at its core. So, Dream Alone asks the player to be very precise with its movements. There is no health bar in this game. Instead, one hit kills you. That's simple. So, as it is a platformer, you have to be very precise with your jumps. For example, if there's an enemy in front of you, you have to either find a way to make that enemy miss you, or be able to jump over it without touching it even once. If you touch it once, you have to go back to the previous checkpoint. Now, thankfully, this game is rather generous with its checkpoints. However, it still requires you to be very precise with your jumps. Now, beyond that, gameplay-wise, this game also does have some elements that are kind of neat. One of them is one of your special moves, which basically phases you into another dimension. Now what happens when you do this? Basically you grab a potion, you drink the potion and you're using your special ability, you phase into this other area, and you can sometimes bypass certain things or find a different way to do certain things. It all depends on what the area is. For example, in the first area, there's a big log in your way. Until you phase and use your special ability, you cannot get past that log. That's simple. That's what you can expect from your special abilities. Now your second special ability is to light up an area. I'm serious. So you'll be given an area where it's entirely pitch dark. You have to grab a potion and use this to light up the area in order to see where you're going. That's simple. Those are your two special moves, and they do kind of change things up a little bit as far as the gameplay mechanic. Now the other thing that I did want to talk about is the traps. The traps in this game are rather hard to see. They did need some work there. So just another little side. Overall, this game is very Limbo inspired, as I've said already. You can expect a lot of deaths, you can expect a lot of darkness, and you can expect just a jolly old adventure as you try to figure out how you're going to get to this Lady of Death. Let's get to the cons now. The first con of this game is the controls. I've talked about them, but the jump button is so clumsy. You have to be so precise on some jumps that you may have to do it 10 or 12 times before you make that jump. Given the fact also that at times the environment can get in your way so you can't see where you're landing, it just makes for a bad old time control-wise. Now the second con that I have for you today is the puzzle aspect of this game. While I do like the whole dimension thing and the lighting of the path thing, basically they always tell you when you're going to need to use it. Now how do they do this? Well, these moves are not unlimited to use. So as you need to use them, you will come upon these potions to collect. Now you know at some point after you collect those potions, I'm going to have to use this move. So it kind of took out the whole, let me figure this out, let me figure out how to do this type of a vibe, when they kind of are telling you, hey, here's potions, you're going to have to use this within the next 12 to 15 feet. I mean, it's like, what's the point? Now my third con in this game is the darkness itself. While I do appreciate the vibe of this game, when they ask you to do precise things or miss traps, and they don't properly illuminate the traps, that can be frustrating. So that is my third and final con of this game. I wish it was illuminated a little bit better. So with all that in mind, all that's really left to ask is, what is Dream Alone going to get on our Mumbles review? This is a really good game. I do like it, but it does have some issues, guys. I gotta be honest with you. Remember, this is a $9.99 game, so it's not asking for a lot of money for a relatively good experience. But I still have to give it a score that grades it properly. And that score today is going to be a 5 out of 10. I couldn't give it a 6, I couldn't give it a 7, had to give it a 5, just for the simple fact that really what it tries to do is mimic a Limbo type game. It doesn't introduce anything new, and the puzzle aspect is really gone. One of the great things about the Limbo and Inside type games is the puzzle aspect. You know, sometimes you're like, what do I do here? There's chainsaws, there's all this other stuff. I don't know what to do here. At no point during this game that was I like, I don't know what to do here, other than when I couldn't make a jump. And a game should never mix those two, in my opinion. So 5 out of 10 on our Mumbles review. And yeah, guys, this is my review of Dream Alone. I want to thank you guys all so much for joining me. Please smack that subscribe button, smack that like button, smack all those buttons. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.